This is a photograph of Brean Beach. I've sort of got me back to the sea. I'm looking up along the coastline. So these little houses you can see just above the sea wall, and the cafes up there, and just car park just round the corner. Horizon line. So let's have a look at the materials. It's all the usual kit. Got me usual Cotman watercolours there. Ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. 99% of the work is done with a large on ransonite brush. Got my water jar here with a nice lip, which comes in handy when you're taking off the excess water. The rest I take off on the teat. I'll give it a wipe on there. It's all tubes, Cotman watercolours, just squeezed out and allowed to dry on the palette. I just use not large pans. It's 15 by 11 watercolour paper. I'll just clip it here to this piece of plywood. So last look at the painting, the picture rather. It's a black and white image, so I'll make the colours up as I go along. So I'm going to start off, a bit of clean water on the brush. And what I'm going to do is just give it, just wet the paper all over. I did think then whether to just water around the buildings then, but I think I'll just scrape them out. Scrape them out with a piece of card. I'm going to stick with a limited palette here, I think. Probably just use raw sienna, burnt umber and ultramarine. Just see what happens. Bit of burnt umber into the raw sienna. Come down there. Let's just pop a bit of ultramarine into the mix, darken it up a bit. Just bang that in. A bit more blue. Bit of raw sienna, burnt umber, ultramarine. Get a bit more water on there, it's all a bit dry. Because it is wet now, I need less water on the brush. Because the paper's already starting to get a little wet. More blue down there, I think. Bit blue over there, more blue there, a bit there. Obviously I'll keep thinking the horizon line's there. Obviously it's a lot higher, isn't it? So I'm just conscious of where these buildings are going to go, because I want it to be dark so that when I scrape it out you get a nice contrast. Because if it's light, like there, when I scrape out you're just not going to see anything. So I want it to be nice and dark around here somewhere, out there, where the horizon line's going to be. And again, there's another building around there. So I want to make sure that's dark as well. So I think that's enough background. So the paper has stretched a little, so I'm going to pull that tight, re-clip it here with these ball dog clips. Just debating whether to dab a little bit of cloud out, just do a little, see what it looks like. Now the advantage of having a really dirty piece of tissue like this is because you can just, if it was clean out it would take a lot more paint off. At least like this you can just have a little dabble, have a little play with it and see what it looks like, if you like it. It's a bit harder and a bit more will come off. Yeah, it's a bit harder. I'm going to do any more than that now. Leave that. Soak up the water at the bottom of the page paper as it gathers. Pulls up at the bottom. Right then, this building, Now I've got quite a few bits of card here, and they sort of come in handy. Just drop the one. Depending on how big you want your thing to be. So I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go for this one. That's about just the right width for the roof, which I'll scrape in first. So the horizon line's about there. So I can see there's a building about there. So I'm just going to scrape that little roof in, and then a little bit down there like that. And then a bit on the side. Scrape a bit more. And then there's a building next to it as well, isn't there? Let's see what the smaller one looks like. And there's another one over there. Another building over there. Paper's still a bit wet, so it's not scraping out very well. I should let it dry a little bit more. But I think I'll get away with it, I think. Try not to stick your knuckles on the paper like I've done there. Don't need any more than that. What I might do is, sometimes it's nice just to hold it like that, and then just scrape a few things. I don't know what these things are, but it just adds a bit of interest. What there is, I can see in the photograph, there's like a load of telegraph poles, so I might just pop a few of those in here and there. And then over on this side, just a few things, just in the distance there. Over on this side, just little details. That, nothing specific, but as it just gives a bit of interest there on the horizon. It's still quite wet, actually. I could have done with just waiting a little bit longer until it was a bit drier. One advantage of stretching your paper before you start to paint is you don't have to keep doing this. It's sort of stretching as I'm going along with it. I just prefer to do it this way. Each to their own. Right then, now there's on this side here, I'm just going to go into the raw sienna, and this is just the start of Brean down there going up. I'm going to dry, it's going to have to be dry, I think. Right there. Just going to dip the very tips in. Just the tip, just to bring all the hairs back together and to loosen the paint a little. I'm just going to go raw sienna and a bit of ultramarine. You can see there's only just enough water on the brush to hold the hairs and to bring the paint, loosen the paint there. You can see there's no water on the palette, none of it's dripping off. There's enough water in the brush to do the job. So that's down there like that, and then a bit of burnt lumber. And we've got the sea walls just in front of this. Yeah. Don't want it quite as strong as that, just tone that down slightly. There we go. This is just the sea wall that goes across again. I'll just tone it down even more. Because I've got rocks here in the foreground, I want those to be dark. And let's just tone that down as well. That's about it. So there's a little wall there. I've just switched to the little brush. Just going to put a little colour on the roof, so I'm going to take a little bit of raw sienna, a bit of ultramarine. Let's just pull that down a little bit. Just put a little bit of colour on the roof. A little bit on this one. That'll do for that. Right, next we've got some there's some big rocks on this beach. So I'm going to take all three colours: raw sienna, ultramarine, burnt umber. And then some out there. And obviously, as they're further and further away, they get smaller and smaller. But then these ones are getting a bit closer to us. So I'm just blocking them in first with a brush, and then before they dry, I'm just going to start giving them a quick scrape. Make it look as if the sort of light's just sort of catching off them. Of course, the light's coming from this way. I'm doing the light on the wrong side, really. So I've switched hand. I'm doing this left-handed. As you can imagine, the light's coming from this way. Okay, let's try and do this properly. So the sort of shadow will be on this side, won't it? This will be the shadow side, and then so if you imagine the lights will be catching them on that side, just there. So take a bit more colour. And then there's rocks, big one there. Imagine. And then we got some really big stuff in the foreground. And if you find you've overdone it with the scraping, you can always go in and paint over bits of it. Like that. Little bits of water left over from where the tide went out. Imagine the beach would be quite wet because it's reflecting all the light off from the sky. So this is just like pools of water gathered as the tide's gone out. I think what I'm going to do next is just a little figure. Switch back to the small brush, a bit more water. Little figure up here somewhere. Just walking the dog. You get a lot of dog walkers on here. And obviously what that will need is a little shadow. Actually, yeah, could have done with a few more. Shadows coming out here, I should be. I think that's enough for now. Maybe what it could do with is just a little. There's got to be a seagull somewhere. 3 seagulls up there, and I'm going to call that one finished. Put my name down there. Too dry. A bit more water. I'm going to call that one done. So let's take a closer look at it. So I've put a mount on it. Don't look too bad. But the first thing that strikes me is the horizon line is slightly slanted. It's going upwards, goes up and up and up over to this side. You could compensate. You could just turn the mount slightly. So then you wouldn't know if it, or just turn the picture as well in the mount, just turn it slightly clockwise and you wouldn't notice. So you can imagine what I've tried to do here is, because imagine the tide's gone out, so because the beach is wet, it's reflecting the colours from the sky, and I've tried to get this sort of raw sienna glow coming through the picture. Bit of tissue work there to suggest a few clouds. A few more on the other side. Buildings on the horizon, they're just scrapes with the card really. I mean obviously these ones here were deliberate, but the others were just bashed in quite haphazardly. Just gives the impression there's something going on there. Makes it interesting. Then we got all these rocks coming towards us. Sort of blocked them in with a dark colour, and then just scraped them just to suggest the light catching the edges of them. And they obviously get close, bigger and bigger as they get closer and closer to the foreground. Got a little figure walking the dog there with the, remember to put the shadows in. We've got our seagulls up there. And obviously I've deliberately put them in the lightest area of the sky so you could actually see them. Well, that'd be like that. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help support the channel and help fund future painting projects, you can become a patron. You'll see the link, the orange link on the right hand side of the screen. Take you to a patron page. Keep practicing. Any questions please ask, and I'll see you again soon.